Hello and welcome to another episode of They've Been Doing It All Day, Sir. What a big week of sport, and how good is Test cricket? Let's get stuck in.
How's your week been, mate?
Yeah, really good, cheers, lad. Really good. Work is getting really busy, which is fantastic.
Can only be a good thing.
Which is only a good sign. I'm absolutely loving it. Fantastic sort of pace and just chatting absolute waffle to people, which is fantastic.
It's kind of what we do here, really.
Yeah, exactly. I'll go from that to this, and not really much in between. How about yourself?
What a busy week it's been.
Yeah.
It feels like an eternity ago because we filmed last Monday.
Last Monday, yeah.
And we're now filming on a Wednesday, and so much has happened since then. A lot of sporting events. We've been down to Canberra and back. We're gearing up to go to Brisbane, which we're buzzing for. But one thing I do want to shout out is all the new viewers that we've had on the videos over the last couple of weeks, which has been amazing. And if you want to help us out a bit more, make sure you click on that subscribe button and follow button just to give us a bit of support. But the numbers of views are slowly increasing.
And that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Exactly.
That's what it's all about.
Exactly. We started out thinking we'll just chat waffle and no one will listen, and now people are tuning in. So it's all been good, but so many sporting events that have happened over the last week or so, and I just want to call out a fairly big event which happened, in which is the reason why I'm wearing.
It depends on the way you look at it.
Well, a lot of people have slagged off the Club World Cup in the fact that it's another tournament that's not needed, but Chelsea did win it.
Yep. Fair play.
And it's rubbed a lot of people up the wrong way. There's a lot of salty Arsenal fans, United fans.
Always.
Out there saying, but it's not a real trophy. But we beat the current reigning European champions. And we didn't just beat them. We absolutely dominated them. Cole Palmer, ice cold. João Pedro, considering he was on the beach, 2 weeks ago? Something like that. To then netting 3 goals in 2 games and just dinking it over Donnarumma. I think he could be the missing piece of the puzzle, do you know?
Everything just seems to be gelling at Chelsea, which because you've got to be in it to win it, and to be played PSG, as you said in that final, like who were there to win. Don't get me wrong. So,
and look, it's a great. Well, it's weird, isn't it? It's a great end to the season of the 24-25. I think there's something stupid like 2.5 weeks off. And then they're back into pre-season for the 25-26.
When does
August, mid-August, which is
Jesus
nuts. So they got to go back, rest up, and then I think we might have Crystal Palace first game. I know the first 4 games are against London opposition.
Yeah.
But what a turnaround. But who knows? Who knows? I don't know whether we're going to be favourites to the Premiership or challenge for it. But we've set ourselves up nicely to be up there. But let's get stuck into this time last week. What were we doing?
We were on the way down to Canberra in the little chimney, swaying from side to side. By God, it was cold. It was a freezing cold day out.
We've mentioned a few times how cold Australia is, and that's just us being in Sydney. But Canberra and the GIO Stadium was another level of cold.
I was in a lot of layers, and I could still feel the cold.
Yeah.
But you know what? Love the stadium.
It was good.
It's got that old. What did you say when we got there?
I said it felt like there should be a velodrome inside,
which was good, and I think the weather may have affected the game a little bit because there was a little bit of slow starts.
Yeah,
and they were proper into it as well. The Brumbies fans, like they were.
It feels like. Am I right in saying they're currently Australia's most successful team, and you can tell they've got a good fan base because I did read after that, as per most of the games that have gone on before, the highest attendance that they've had in like 12 years, but the fans are proper getting into it. And I mean, there was a few shots that they've been doing it all day, flying around. So we've got the right title and logo there. But Lions walk away 36-24 victors in that game. Wasn't the most convincing performances, was it? It
was quite slow. So it was very similar to all the other performances. It's the chop and change in the squad, poor handling, but there was some sparks of some absolute brilliance there, which you could see developing. Bit of mouthing off, bit of argy-bargy, but an all-round. It's the first time I've ever ordered a coffee inside a sporting stadium. As well as we had a dry trip.
Big Owen Farrell came off the bench as well, which is good. And then he came and actually he played against the ANZ.
He was just a part of the warm up in the.
Sorry. Of course he was. Of course he was, because he'd only just flown out, hadn't he, on the Friday?
And then he came out against the ANZ team, which nice little segue into it. A lot better.
Yeah,
a lot better.
And the interesting thing about it was on the Wednesday, people were expecting, this is like the closest thing you're going to get to the Test team.
Yeah.
Weren't overly impressed by them, and then the team that played ANZ, which aren't the best international players because they're not currently representing Australia and New Zealand, but they played it at a high level. The pace was quicker, the hits were better, they lasted longer in terms of being able to keep it up for longer, better players coming off the bench. But the Lions just absolutely steamrolled them.
Yeah, but I think it's very much like a Barbarians team, though, like the Barbars. Like I doubt they would have taken it seriously. I think it would have been a good meet-up.
Few beers after.
Probably a few beers during the week as well of training. If you ever hear any Barbarian stories of the players joining. But you know what? I think there is a click away from being unstoppable.
Yeah.
It's just handling errors. And I wonder if very much the decision-making through these games has been very attacking in the sense, let's just try stuff.
Yeah.
Let's not worry about it. Whereas I think when they get into test, I wonder if it would be a lot more conservative.
A lot more
sense.
Exit kicking from deep, maybe a bit of a tactical chess game.
Yeah. So it'd be quite interesting to see what happens at the Suncorp. But really looking forward to it.
Sent you a post yesterday, didn't I, that the Lions have never lost at the Suncorp.
Hopefully that continues.
We hope that continues. But we travel up on Friday. We're flying up on Friday, and then we've got all the festivities of Saturday, and we're going to be full test, full kit. It's warm. It's warmer in Brisbane, but we'll see how it goes.
See.
But how do you reckon it's going to go? What do you reckon? What are your thoughts for it?
I think it'll be a cagey first half. I think it'll be, again, both teams trying to find their feet. But hopefully in the second half, things will click for the Lions and they'll just run away with it. The Australians just got over the line against the Fiji, and you can't disrespect Fiji. They're a good nation in their own right. But I think that screams a lot, and I think they've only had one warm up game, which may not be the best. Granted, the Lions' performances haven't been amazing, but at least they've got minutes under their belts, which, again, you can argue the fact that they've just come off a season, but, we'll see.
I was listening to Ronan O'Gara pull out his predicted first test, and he went along the lines of should have our strongest players on the bench to finish the game, and he came out with some ridiculous stats, like the way he thinks about the game and the way he analyses the game. He was like, usually test games are within 2 scores with 12 minutes to go, and that's why you want your best players. And I was like, pulls out some interesting points, but I've got a feeling that it is going to be a cagey and tight one, and it's who has, sounds stupid, but who can have less errors, who can have a crisper game, move the ball quicker. But I hope it's a positive start for the Lions, as we definitely do. And you never know, Caxton Street might see a few beers after, one or two beers after. But we're going up to Queensland, and one game that did happen last Wednesday whilst we were in Canberra was Origin. Game 3. How much time do we want to spend talking about this? Because the Queensland Maroons ran out 24-12 victors.
Well done to Queensland.
Yeah, well done to Queensland. Well done to Billy Slater. Dropping Cherry Evans, bringing in Dearden, Shibasaki, Toya. That it worked. It worked.
I think we'll just leave it there. I don't really want to dive into much else now. You've got to... I think there's going to be some questions asked amongst it all.
Yeah.
Laurie doesn't scream out to me to be a motivational coach. Whereas Madge had that
rocket up the arse mentality.
Yeah, which I think they need as a squad. Complacency, I think, crept in, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Goal kicking. You look at complacency of goal kicking. Yeah. We'd have won the second game. We'd have blown them away in the first game.
That's where it was lost. But again, as we've said many a times on here, Cleary's still not setting the Origin alight. Which, is what I don't know how many Origins he's been in, but from what I've seen of him at Origin level, he's not lit it up like we know he can.
If Moses was fit, it'd be interesting. That would have caused a selection problem for game 3. But Yeah, I just think that New South Wales took it for granted.
Yeah.
They know they're the strongest squad and they just roll in with an attitude of like, oh, we're going to beat you anyway. Look what we've done in the second half game too. And look, Queensland wanted to prove a point. They had a lot to play for and fight for, and fair play to them. Like, they were the better team. Like, we were checking the score. We were watching it as we were watching the Lions. And when it went to 20-0, we were like, right, let's focus on the Lions now. But yeah, the sporting content just carried on. The sporting fixtures just carried on. We'll roll into the round 19 fixtures. And we'll kick it off with a team that have been a bit up and down. Warriors 34 defeating the Tigers 14. Obviously Metcalf out, Tanner Boyd comes in, and I watched the highlights actually yesterday, I think it was, and their ability to move the ball and get it outside was pretty quick and pretty good. But Warriors seem to be cementing themselves in the top four.
And that's what they've always been good at all season. Is very similar to Canberra in the sense that they've got a very fast back line, and when that gets moving, it's frightening how quick it can get. Had a bit of a mid-season stumble, I suppose, within a few results. Didn't go their way, but I think this was one where they had to take it by the bull by the horns and put in a shift. I think they did that. Again, a travelling Tigers team, it's always difficult to travel over to New Zealand, and a team that's on the decline a little bit, and it's they're a bit iffy. I think it was a result that pretty much everyone saw coming. Yeah,
and Leka Halasimi scored the last try, and he was fending people off. Like a huge stiff arm. Great rookie season. I think it's between him and KO Weeks wouldn't be rookie of the season, he'd be most improved, wouldn't he? But he could be up there with a shout of rookie of the season along with Big Marky Mark. You never know if he gets classified as a rookie. We'll see.
It's a bit of a contentious one, isn't that?
Actually, just thinking about it, Halasima had that great try against the Tigers when they played in Campbelltown as well, when it's pouring down with rain. Ripped it along the sideline. So Love's absolutely schooling the Tigers. But onto the flat track bullies that are the Melbourne Storm. They weren't much of bullies this weekend. This was an away fixture, though, to be fair, wasn't it? So it wasn't at home. But how'd your tip for the Knights go?
I don't know. I turned off at half time and they were winning. So in my mind, they've won. Didn't go well, did it really? That second half. Good God. I think the Storm showed why they are where they are.
Their ability under the high ball as well is pretty good. Like Eli Katoa, for a big man, just gets up there. He's Ola Kawhi. Like, both of them are great in doing exactly the same thing. Just not when the ball goes up, not to the widest man, to the winger, but you want to fire it inside. If you've got someone like that running onto it and that can tend on a high up, it's almost unstoppable when you've got a powerhouse like that.
And talking about the Knights, Dom Young's got a couple as well. A couple of tries in there, which is sort of good to see, and he's starting to creep up the ladder in the try elements of it.
2 this week, 1 last week, maybe.
It's good to see, because I think he lost a lot of confidence when he was at the Roosters. In that sense, and he is a good player. I think was the level a bit too high for him at the Roosters?
Expectation.
I don't know. Yeah,
it's hard to say expectation, but maybe well, there's a few players that have left, maybe because of the culture at the club.
Okay.
Like Brandon Smith as well. People on the outside say that he might not have been the right fit for the club. Dom Young might not have been the right fit, but he's back where he made a name for himself back at Newcastle, and he scored 2 pretty good tries. And there was one try where he offloaded it not from the floor, but it got booted backwards by a Melbourne player, and I can't remember who it was, ran on and got it down. But some rumours coming out of Newcastle that
this is big.
Ponga might be off at the end of the season, but not necessarily in league. He's exploring his options to go and play rugby union in New Zealand, which is crazy.
It is. I don't know where he would slot in. Where would you play him? Because you've got to think he'd want to push for what? The All Blacks?
Could he be a winger? Could he be a fullback? Like, where would you put? I don't know if he's in centre.
I don't think he's got the size to play centre.
That's why I'm thinking he's more outside.
Do you put him in at 10?
Maybe.
Play the game, pull the strings in the game. I'd
be protected a bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be it's going to be a bold one. I think it'll be a case of he'll go and play the Chiefs or the Blues or whatever, and then try and build up to that. But it could be a difficult shift for him, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, and obviously the Knights have got Dylan Brown coming in on an absolute fortune next year, so that could be a potential influencing factor. Like, Knights don't want to lose him, but if he wants to go, they're saving a bit of money there. Next game that we're going to tuck into, though, Roosters 31, Dragons 24. This was a lot more of a shootout than I anticipated. Back and forth.
Yeah.
Try for try, bar for bar, band for band, whatever you want to say. They were going for it. And yeah, it was a good game to watch.
It's Dragons have, if I was a Dragons fan, I think I'd be very frustrated this season. Because
I read it. Was it said in the game that they're one of the teams that have lost like 7 games or something by 1 to 6 points or something stupid like that? So
and it's really infuriating, because you'd think with the players that they brought in and what they had around, they would be a lot stronger in a better position than they are. But they've just had brain fades, and they've just disappeared in moments throughout the season.
Yeah,
which has really dented them. I reckon if they'd have made their home ground, or they'd have made their home form a lot better, and then done away, they would be in a completely different position. Because they've got the ability there. They've shown in here they're not
injured. They've been
team.
hit quite hard by injuries as well, which hasn't supported them. Like the money man being injured for a few games, comes back, does his hamstring again. Like, he was their top try scorer. I think Val Holmes might have taken that over now, but. One interesting point in the game, Sam Walker goes in, third man in, low tackle on, I think it was David Clemmer that he goes in.
Okay.
Gets sent to the sin bin. And a point that you mentioned, actually, is they didn't capitalise when they were a man up, the Dragons. They actually let the Roosters back into the game and levelled it up 18-all. But he went in low, bent his knee back, and I don't get the judiciary system in the NRL, because he hasn't received
anything, a
fine or a charge, which is bonkers. Maybe first game back for Walker, tiredness, went in aiming for the thigh, went lower.
And especially the massive uproar that old Lodgy got after
Brandon Smith,
after that one on Brandon Smith, when it wasn't a hip drop in the slightest, but there was one angle that made it look like a hip drop. And you've not really heard much out of this one. I don't know whether it's because we follow Manly pages, but and you obviously it gets put up, but not a peep.
Nah,
really.
Strange one, but what it was nice to see was Victor Radley sealing the win at the end with his scrum cap on.
Yeah, and I think that's a good decision.
Running over to the camera. I can't remember what he said into the camera, but it's Try July, isn't it? But he's had a bit of a rocky time with the old
concussions.
The old concussions. I mean, the scientific evidence out there says that those scrum hats do nothing for concussions. They're more for cauliflower ears and like scratches on the head. They don't actually absorb enough shock to I
suppose it's more of a dispersion of it though as well, instead of it being in a
science. Dive into the science. How concussions are caused are when the brains rotate side to side.
Fast movement. Regardless, isn't it? Really.
So if you've got that on,
it's not going to do much.
It's like a boxer wearing a head guard. If they catch one on the chin and they whip their head, they're still going to get knocked out. But yeah, anyway, enough of the debate around the old scrum caps. Might don my scrum cap this weekend in Brisbane. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, might be a good shout.
But a team that is coming back into contention. The Penrith Panthers. I wouldn't say stroll past the Eels, actually. I was about to say stroll past. It was an even game at half time, and then they blew away with it in the second half. But 32-10. And Cleary, for the first time, started on the bench, first time in his career.
I don't think he's well, is he? I think he's
hasn't he? He's not named for this week either, is he? I think he's rested. We'll check it in a bit for the lineups. But
he's injured. He's carrying something. I think. I know we've just had a go over him about not being Origin fit and not letting Origin alive, but I think he's been carrying a knock for some
when
weeks.
You're not kicking, and he's got that compression thing on his leg as well.
I think he's trying to get through, and sometimes I do like the mentality of trying to win for the team and play through injured, and to a certain extent it can be a very good mentality to have, but other times it's selfish, because you're then being carried somewhat by the team if you're not being able to put in a 100% performance. So you know what, I think it might have been a chat between him and his dad, and gone, you know what, you've just played Origin. That you don't need a backup. Let's rest you
until they go 10-0 down or whatever it was.
Like, oh, actually, get warm up, warming up. But a bit like the Storm Knights game, very end to end first half in that sense, solid from the Eels, but then Panthers class just showed up and ran away with it.
And where they've been not great defensively in the past, they were better. And even their like line breaks and long breakaway plays, Alamotti had a breakaway. Cleary managed to finish one off from a dummy and line break. But the Panthers are currently 3 in a row. They've won 3 in a row now. What I was going to say about Cleary is that they can't rest him too much because they've still got to make the 8. So it'll be interesting to see how they go and manage him between now and when they might confirm themselves in the 8 for the end of the season. But they're currently sitting in 6th. Got the Bunnies up this week, so we'll talk about that in a second. But a team that needed to perform and finally got in a win against, well, the Hammer didn't play, but the Cronulla Sharks beat the Dolphins 24-12. We both went with, this was the opening fixture of the round.
Yeah.
Both went with the Dolphins, but I will caveat this with, we did say team lists hadn't been revealed when we tipped. Hammer wasn't playing. Do you reckon that would have changed the decision?
I'd have still gone with them. And this is a really frustrating thing because this then prediction puts you in a knee-jerk reaction of, all right, are the Sharks good again?
Nico Hines had a good game. Like, I'll give him credit. He scored twice, I think, but I'm not sure.
And it's really frustrating because it has shown that when Nico Hines performs, he can turn it on and he's and it really helps the team. But because he's been missing for I'd say a good 80% of the season, it's really affected them, and especially in the running that they've had, which has seen them drop out of the 4. They've got a lot of making up to be able to be in a class 8 team, I reckon.
Yeah, and they've got the Roosters this weekend at Shark Park again, so it'd be interesting to see both teams. Well,
that's what I mean. It's you've seen the Roosters limp against the Dragons to a win, and you've seen the Sharks, and it's a very similar fixture to what it was last week against the Dolphins. I'm now in two minds on that fixture.
We'll get to it in a bit, but one bit that I want to call out in this game is, I think the moment of the game that turned it for the Sharks, the Dolphins were seemingly over the line and about to score, and then Carl Rudolph puts in a diving effort to knock the ball. Well, did he get his hands under it or knock it out, force a knock on? But incredible moment that, had that have gone over, I think the Dolphins go on. They had all the momentum at the time.
It's an origin play. It's an origin play.
An origin play. What is an origin play? Like, please define to me. Anyone know out there? Like, what is an origin play?
Just an unreal bit of.
It's just unreal.
It's just unreal. Just unreal. Just like going above and beyond. But that's what you need in games like this. Is it's swinging your way when there's plays like that. But yeah, great bit of athleticism and
I randomly
courage.
saw something earlier that could relate to this, actually. In order to get luck, you need to apply effort and skill. And if you apply effort and skill at some point where they meet, there will become a bit of luck.
Look at you throwing all the scientific guys.
Well, it's just this theory of what happens. I don't know whether it's actually true, but
we're turning into a very theoretical podcast here now.
We are. We'll be solving world problems. But I think that the Sharks are one of those teams that if they scrape through into the 8, they're when they come up against the top 4 side, they're going to get turned over. But we'll see. Could eat my words on that one.
Yeah, very much so.
Very much so. But another team that is hitting form and on a bit of a run.
Right at the right time.
The Brisbane Broncos defeat the Gold Coast Titans 26-14 in what was a Queensland derby. And look, the Titans at one point looked like they might come back into it when Jojo Fafita strolls over twice. But then the Broncos go down the other end and seal it. But
it's okay, boys. You can stop that now.
Big Desi Hasler. Apparently, he's
going to retire.
He's going to retire, but then you hear the other things that go on around. There's these clauses in his contract that if they don't make the 8, then he can't renew his contract next year. Just jack it in, man. Like
who in that Titans backroom staff went, you know what, we're going to make the 8, and if you don't take us there, you're not getting a new contract. And
got to back yourself.
Yeah, but how? Like it's mental.
I suppose it's a performance clause. I mean,
yeah.
Now you've raised that though. Like, did they think, hang on, this is a way that if things aren't going great,
we can get rid of him for free.
Yeah, we can get rid of him and not have to pay him.
Yeah.
Pay him out. So who knows? But it's definitely they're looking favourites for the wooden spoon. And if they do, like, are they in trouble of losing some of their bigger names?
Of course they are.
Heard something and saw something that Big Tino might be being shopped about.
Yeah, I think he could go to the Broncos if they get rid of Payne Haas. Why wouldn't they go straight in for Tino? That's a suitable substitution in my opinion.
Yeah, Kieran Foran obviously retiring as well.
Foran's retiring again. Looking back to that first season we were watching, 23, I think he had a few appearances. When we beat when Manly beat Melbourne. And Saab scored that absolute. I think he was playing at 6,
and then he may have gone up to the Titans year after. I'm not too sure,
but yeah, this is the issue with when you are on a losing streak. Yes, the salary cap does sort of even things out, but if teams are losing big players, they want to bring in big players to replace, and you go feed them from the bottom because.
Yeah,
no one wants to sound a losing side.
David Fafita said he wanted out earlier in the year as well, and apparently he approached the Bunnies and was like, "Get me over there." So it's look, whoever they bring in as coach might be able to change it. This is assuming that Hazlitt is going to go, but I'd be worried as a Titans fan that there's not going to be much success for years to come. A great point was raised earlier. The Gold Coast is also like a holiday destination. Like players go there maybe as a bit of a
retiring home. It's like the Miami of Australia,
or the North London, the Arsenal of Australia, where Chelsea seem to send all their retirees.
It's the Saudi League of the NRL.
Yeah, but final game of the season wasn't a season. Final game of the season. We finishing the season already. Final game of the week wasn't the most inspiring one from either of these. First half, the Bulldogs scored 12. And the Cowboys scored 8, and it remained that way for the rest of the game. Galvin wasn't named in the squad. For me, that is what has caused the problems with the Bulldogs. His signing has upset the apple cart.
And yeah, trying to shoehorn him into a winning team is a bit. It's starting to rear its ugly head. But then you go back and you go, I've signed a big money signing. You can't leave him on the bench, and you've taken him away from the Tigers, and you can't. And his whole mantra was, "I'm going to go and play for a better team. I'm going to be in a better squad." And then you can't then go stick him in the New South Wales Cup because then the questions start coming in. Why didn't you just stay at the Tigers and make yourself a better player? So it's a dilemma that the Dogs are going to have to figure out, because if they're going to want to be serious Premier League winners this year, Premiership winners, they're going to have to settle whatever's happening, get players that are wanting to play and all pulling in the right direction and going, yeah, all we need now is the best 3 months out of you to get us to the top, and then we can sort out your differences.
Interesting. Looking at the odds for favourites to win it, the Storm are favourites at $2.70. I don't think they've moved. No, the Bulldogs were favourites at one point, actually. They crept up in the money, but the Raiders and Bulldogs are now $6 to win it, then closely followed by the Broncos and Panthers. Panthers have snuck back in. That is $7.50. Then the rest blow out. I mean, the Warriors are $26. So, the Sharks are $26. Tell you what, get on Manly at 41. You never know what could happen there.
God, no.
But, talking to Manly, great win this week against the Bye, 2 points. Getting back of the net up to 7th in the ladder. 7th in the ladder, and easy fixture this week against the Storm. So, on that note, let's get into round 20. The tips up first. Thursday night, 7:50 at the Suncorp. Are they playing... So the Suncorp on the Thursday and then Union on the Saturday?
Yeah.
Have we checked the weather forecast? It's going to be dry.
No, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine.
Okay.
They do it all the time. They take some these pitches take some battering.
Yeah, but they're terrible. And if you've got the world of rugby union looking at the first test and the pitch is absolutely horrendous, then who knows? But anyway, kicking us off on the Thursday night, 7:50 at the Suncorp. We've got the Dolphins at $1.54 against the North Queensland Cowboys at $2.50.
Ooh, Big Hammer's back, which is huge.
Yeah.
I like the Dolphins. I think old Tommy Dearden will have to string in a hell of a performance to bring this Cowboys team up to the Dolphins level. But I'm going to go for the Dolphins in this one.
Do you know what? I got a sneaky feeling. I've just got this feeling that the Cowboys are going to do it. I believe, they're not going to be happy. Look, Bulldogs are a great outfit, right? Defensively, they're very good. The Dolphins showed against the Sharks that they can have lapses in them. I just reckon I got this vibe that the Cowboys are going to get this done. $2.50. Let me lump on that.
God, I love it. And then we've got the 6 o'clock kickoff on Friday at Shark Park. We've got the Cronulla Sharks at $1.65 against the Sydney Roosters at $2.25.
This is a difficult one to call. Stone Street is apparently back. Has he been? Is he on the extended bench? So he probably won't play. He's coming back from a foot injury, I believe. And Chad Townsend is back in for the Roosters. He's been exiled for a while because Hugo Savala injured his shoulder, I believe. So their big boot is out there. But who wins this? If you want big things to happen, you give the ball to Big Marky Mark. I reckon he's going to have a ball game, and the Sydney Roosters win this. Where are you going?
Oh, I'm weighing up the team lists and going through. Oh, I just think there's a lot more spark that can happen from the Roosters and the Sharks. I think you've got Tedesco over Kennedy. You've got Tupou over Katoa. You've got Big Marky Mark go over Mulatalo. Mulatalo's gone missing the last few weeks.
He tried his little flick pass back on the inside as well, which nearly worked a wonder at the weekend.
You've got old Bobby Toyer and Billy Smith in this, and I like their back line a lot more. It depends on how Chad Townsend performs.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to join you with the Roosters.
Nice one. Then over to the CommBank we go on the Friday night, 8 p.m. kickoff. The Penrith Panthers at $1.37 against the South Sydney Rabbitohs at $3.12.
Yeah. I'm going to go for the Panthers on this one. I think they're going to blow the Rabbitohs away. I think this could be a 13 plus.
I think it'd be a 13 plus. They've got their Origin stars that were arrested. Brian Toto is back in. Dylan Edwards is back in. Yo and Cleary are out. I thought I saw that they were being arrested, but Panthers. I can't. Maybe it won't be 13 plus like I said, but the Panthers will get this one done.
Yeah, definitely. And then we're at the Geo Stadium on the Saturday.
We know it well. We know it well.
Great coffee. 3 o'clock kickoff. It's the Canberra Raiders at $1.19 versus the Parramatta Eels at $4.75.
Surely. Canberra Raiders just blow them out of the water.
Yeah. I'm going to go Raiders and don't call me Shirley.
The Eels haven't got anyone back. The same team that put out a performance last week. The one thing I will say is Zach Lomax dropped an absolute sitter over on the wing. Like, I think he pictured that the ball was in his hands before he even got in. And that would have changed the game. The Eels could have come back into it, but against the Panthers. But for me, the Raiders are a cut above the Eels at the moment, and I'm tipping the Canberra Raiders.
Yeah, I'm going to join you there. I reckon if you're going to put a lump on, I think it could be a 1-12 for the Raiders. I think they're still a little bit sluggish, but I still think I can't see him losing, to be honest.
And then the 5:30 p.m. kickoff game on the Saturday, we got the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs at $1.32 against the St. George Illawarra Dragons at $3.40.
Lucky Galvin starting as well.
Is it upsetting? Like, is it going to cause a problem?
Do you know what?
No, you're not. You're not.
This is difficult. I'm gonna go the Dogs, but I think it's going to be a very close game. I think this could be a 20, 24, 22. I think it's going to be very, very close.
It's the battle of the flying Vs as well, isn't it? They both got Vs in their jumpers. I can't see past the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
I just believe they're too good for them. Their defence is solid. It will be close. Don't think it'll be a high-scoring affair.
Nah.
But I reckon the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs get this one done.
Yep. And then 7:35. Game's been cancelled, so we don't have to talk about it now. 7:35 on the Saturday, Amy Park, Melbourne Storm at $1.32 against the Manly Sea Eagles at $3.42. We will be sat in the Suncorp, minding our own business, not even knowing this game exists.
Yeah, I didn't even realise there was a game on it. You know what I mean? It's that kind of vibe. Storm at home are lethal.
Yeah.
They are a different beast at home. Munster's back. Coates is back. They're pretty much at full strength, apart from Farlongo not being in. Whereas Manly, I just don't think we've got enough. I hate to say it. Although, let's look at the positives on this. Every time I have tipped against Manly, they have won. So I'm going to go for the Melbourne Storm.
I'm going to go for Manly. And this is going to be Tom Trbojević's standout game of the season.
Can you imagine?
I'm going to go for 2 tries for Tommy Boy. Lehigh Hapawate is going to light up Cam Munster on just a massive blitz tackle out of nowhere. DCE is going to be like, Munster, mate, this is why I should have stayed in Origin, and put on an absolute masterclass. Matt Lodge is going to
run through everyone.
Just run through everyone. And then old mate Ethan Bullymore is going to come off the bench on his 100th game and just score tries galore. I'm going Manly 32, Storm 10.
Just remember when we played them at Brookie and we had far too many beers to drown our sorrows. We got absolutely battered. But anyway, on to Sunday. Now this has massive implications, this game.
Yeah.
At 2 p.m. at Leichhardt Oval, we have the Wests Tigers at $1.54 against the Gold Coast Titans at $2.50. This is a battle for the spoon.
It is. And I think the Tigers are just, they love a Leichhardt game.
They do.
I'm gonna go the Tigers on this. Unfortunately, can't really see much from the Titans, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Titans have only had 4 wins all season.
Yeah. And I don't think the 5th is going to come against the Tigers.
I wouldn't be surprised if it does, but I don't think it's going to. So I am going to be tipping the West Tigers in this one.
Unreal. And then we've got the last game on the Sunday, which another ground we've been to, and we know well. McDonald Jones Stadium, Newcastle Knights, $2.79 against the New Zealand Warriors at $1.45.
Warriors travelling. Tantua Picky was pretty good at fullback for the Warriors in the game. Big DWZ was great. Adam Pompey bowled over as well, I think. RTS was good. Harris Tavita was incredible. Tanner Boyd was good as well. I think that is far too much for the Newcastle Knights. It's going to be closer than a blowout because I believe the Knights are on the up. There's no doubt about it. Defensively, they're very good. Offensively, they're not looking great, but with Dom Young, they're improving. Going to be a tight game, but up in the Wars. Wars up the Wars.
Up in the Wars.
Warriors.
I'm gonna up the Wars with you.
Yeah.
But then if anyone wants a little flutter, I'll probably put on a Dom Young 2 tries again.
Yeah. Not too bad. Well, big weekend of rugby league fixtures in the NRL. Looking forward to them. We'll try and watch as many as we can whilst we're up in Brisbane. Obviously. But if I'm honest, I don't think we're going to be watching much. We'll try and catch up on the highlights.
If there's anything on in the pubs and the tellies and
I'm
stuff.
pretty sure there will be. But and on to another sport that is twists and turns all over the gaff.
Test cricket?
How good is Test cricket? England-India third Test. How mad is it that after the first innings, both finished on exactly 387, one innings shootout?
Yep.
And what an innings it was.
I text you and when England need about 250 here to comfortably win. They post 193 on a pitch that was doing all sorts, hooping.
It was all over the gap.
Hooping and hollering.
Yeah.
Zach Crawley getting stuck in against the Indians, playing a lovely, being a bit of drama on the last couple of overs and
time wasting fingers.
Do you know what? They had a taste of their own medicine.
They did.
The Indian team will love a time waste.
Yeah.
Like Gill got a 15-minute massage in the previous innings, and they've only got themselves to blame.
Yeah.
In that sense. And if they wanted a longer, I heard it earlier on on another podcast, which I agree with. If they wanted more time at them, they should have hurried themselves up. They shouldn't have been time wasted when they're batting. So, a bit of their own medicine there.
One key moment was Stokes' run out of...
Incredible.
Was it Pant that he ran out? Yeah. That was a pivotal moment, as well as the time. Like India should have gone more attacking when in their first innings to really try and ramp it up. But my word, like stayed up to watch the last, 5 wickets needed?
Yeah, I watched for about an hour or so after lunch.
Because American football training started again, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And flag football's back, so you were involved in that. But I was keeping you updated, and I tell you what, Jofra Archer's ball to remove Pant.
It's one of the best of the year so far.
Absolute delivery, off stump tumbling. And I text you said, I don't think there's a better sound in sport, or it's up there with one of the greatest sounds in sport, of the kind of footsteps of running in, that scuffle that you hear of the studs or the spikes on the wicket.
Yeah.
That silence where they're in the air, ball hitting turf, ball hitting stump tumbling, crowd going mental. Can you think of another sound that's up there, would you say, in sport?
The one that you said is quite good, so I'll leave that to you to go through.
The other one, but before I say my other one, you got one? Anyone that you can think of?
Sounds in sport. It's just trying to think of other sports. I reckon in one you can say in rugby is possibly when it comes to like a last minute conversion.
Yeah.
And it's just quiet.
The silence of an arena.
Yeah, the silence of it, and then it's boot hit ball.
You can really hear like leather.
Yeah.
Oh, well, they're not leather boots anymore, but
you can hear the connection. Yeah. And it's just like, and then you see the flags go up, and everyone goes, yeah. So that's probably up there with what you're going to say, to be honest.
One more that I've just thought of actually whilst I'm speaking.
I don't know whether it's going to be the same one, but darts.
Oh, like a...
I had a 9 darter.
Yeah. Do you know what? That it's going to annoy me. Why can't I think of the two players that are playing?
Michael Smith and Michael van Gerwen.
When they did the back-to-back. Like,
Michael may hit and Michael may miss.
It was absolutely unreal. And I'll give you that, actually. The darts, the sound of the crowd is incredible.
Especially on a 9 darter. It's like, especially when they're down to the last 3.
Just the crowd. Yeah. Everyone's just going absolutely mental. But the other one that I thought of while sitting here, and because we're in a studio that has a boxing podcast, the sound of a punch connecting with a chin that knocks someone out, although brutal, like I think is a great sound, leather on chin. But one of the best ones is if you're in the stadium as well, and you've been to a soccer game, like football game, you know this sound. Breakaway, crowd are cheering, silence, hear the connection of the ball hits the back of the net, crowd go mental. Like
I don't think there's anything better than that, to be honest.
It's one of the best sounds up there. But we went off on a bit of tangent there, talking about Jofra Archer, and the cricket. Cricket. Anyway, the cricket. What do you think of Archer being back in the lineup?
Just bring something else, doesn't it? I think so. One of the things you got to look at is his pace. He was quick at times. Like he's bowled his quickest ever over in Test cricket, which is brilliant. But his pace then was similar to what Cast was at times.
Yeah.
But I think it's because of how smooth his action is and the whip he gets on the ball and the bounce, which really startles batsmen. But he's so good. He's such an asset.
It is. And if we can manage to get him out here, Cast out here, Wood out here, I think there's a chance that we could potentially do something in the Ashes. But talking of good bowlers and Ashes performance.
Unreal, man.
Australia bowled the West Indies out for 27, and this is how ridiculous Mitchell Starc is. Scotty Boland gets a hat-trick.
Yeah.
Like, all right, it's tail-enders, but Mitchell Starc rips through their top order. And I'm so used to reading wickets and figures of 9 runs for 6 wickets, but out here it's 6 wickets for 9 runs. Like how the Australians do it, I find it a bit.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
It's a bit weird, but figures like that absolutely tore through the West Indies.
He's such a good bowler.
It's with a pink ball. So where do we I
Swing.
think Adelaide, I think we'll play with the pink ball.
It's where you get the English conditions.
Yeah,
you get the swing element of it.
The day-night test. So look, I think we'll have to be up in the series before we go to Adelaide.
So good.
They start in Perth, which is a fast track.
But the thing is, you look at the evolution. Like from what I was watching Test cricket, they had Brett Lee pure pace, right armour. Then they had Mitchell Johnson left armour pure pace. Then they progressed to Mitchell Starc. Like that is that is ridiculous. And in the fast, like genuine fast bowler evolution.
Whereas we've had a period of Archer when he came on the scene. Wood. Then a gap.
No real genuine
consistency
pace
between them, and we're trying to find our feet. But hopefully, this Ashes series, we're obviously finishing our two tests against India to prepare for the Ashes. Australia aren't playing a test match between now and the start of the Ashes, so be interesting to see how they go. Their top order.
It's going to come down to the England batting versus Australia bowling, as I said.
I believe so, and let's hope we're not seeing Rory Burns step across his stump and get bowled first ball at the MCG, thankfully. But on to the F1, because I don't know if you've seen these rumours. There was Big Max Verstappen stepping out of a private jet with Toto Wolff. Apparently a done deal to Mercedes.
It's a great move. It's a great move. Old whining Verstappen with Mercedes just moving to another great car. I think it'll be, if they, with everything that's going on at Red Bull, I think you're going to see the demise of Red Bull for a few years, and then you're going to see a McLaren Mercedes shootout.
I forgot about that. Old Horner getting the boot as well. That was big news. Happened last Wednesday.
And
have you seen his pecker? Did you see the picture that got sent round?
No.
Oh, you don't want to see it either, mate. It's absolutely scandalous. How Jerry Halliwell.
I think that got sent out the first time it came out because it was.
No, that's what I mean. It was the first time when he was doing a bit of inappropriate texting.
Anyway,
what Jerry Halliwell saw in that, I don't know. But
money.
Anyway, yeah, very true.
But yeah, I think it's a great move. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know whether this is going to be a case of Russell's going to be let go and they're going to bring through Antonelli. Because if you see the documentary on Netflix, my partner was watching it. That they've put a lot of time into Antonelli.
Interesting.
A bit like Hamilton was when he joined McLaren. So I think it could be Russell getting the boot and him having to find somewhere else. Which apparently he's now taken Mercedes out of his Instagram bio and just put Formula One driver. So you don't know, bit of drama.
It's
for
all
Drive.
unfolding.
Bit of drama there for Drive for Survive.
And
Drive
it's all for
Survive.
Netflix. I'm telling you, it's all for Netflix.
Of course it is. But you know what? People will watch it and they'll get money from it. But it'll be interesting.
Is there a race this weekend?
I like always saying that because we always end. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. Is there a race this weekend?
No, I think they're on the summer break at the moment.
And they're travelling. This is the biggest distance between races or something like that. They've got to get all the gear. But yeah, it'll be one to watch because I'm sure it'll come out soon. I'm sure it'll come out in the wash soon. But that was a lot of sport to get through. We spoke about a lot of things there. But follow us along on socials because this week we are going up to Brisbane. Not sure what we're going to do. But we'll keep people updated. So be sure to follow. They've been doing it all day, sir, on Instagram, TikTok. Give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. But thanks for tuning into this week's episode, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Good night. God bless.
Bye.